What is up, my friends? We are playing some Modern today. Lots of Standard lately, obviously, with Ravnica Allegiance out and a lot of Standard events in a row. But we're getting back to our Modern here a little bit with a deck that I got to play last weekend at SCG Dallas in the Sunday Classic event. Standard in the main event did not go too good for me, so I got to play a big 9-round Modern Classic. And I got to play with Ross Merriam's Arclight Phoenix deck. I actually played with Ross's physical deck. He just handed it to me. And got to have my first shot at this deck in a Modern tournament. And I got to say, it is really, really good. This is the baseline good deck in Modern right now. It's hard to say best deck because Modern rarely has a best deck. But this is like the deck that is like the baseline for the format. For a while that was Humans, for a while that was Death Shadow. Now it's this deck. It is the deck that is mostly fair, but also does unfair things as well, similar to Humans and Shadow. And if you're unfamiliar with the deck, we'll go over it pretty quick. We have essentially two main cards in our deck that our deck is built around. We have Arclight Phoenix, and we have Thing in the Ice, and the Awoken Horror. So both cards obviously want you to play a lot of instants and sorceries, and they both come at you from two different angles, and whenever you have a deck that has two good main plans, and both of those main plans are fairly divergent in what is good against them, that's usually the recipe for a very good deck. So a card like Thing in the Ice, what's good against it is removal spells, Fatal Push, ways to keep it off the battlefield, things like that, or opponents not playing any creatures. Then we have our Arclight Phoenixes, which is almost the opposite. This card is specifically good against removal spells. It's bad against Graveyard Hate, or Graveyard Interaction, which Thing in the Ice, of course, dodges. And it's good against removal spells, and it's better against the kind of control decks or the non-interactive decks of the format because of how fast it can be. Our best draws will see us attacking with 2 Arclights on turn 2. So both cards play very well with all of our instant sorceries, but do very different things. And again, Thing in the Ice is also just astoundingly good against any of the linear creature decks in the format. Humans, Dredge, all of these decks don't play a ton of removal spells, and it's capable of flipping this thing on turn 2. Hold on. I said this thing, and on turn 3, with cards like Manamorphose, things like that, which we'll get to. And it's obviously when you bounce your entire opponent's board and have a 7-8 ready to attack them, that's pretty good against those decks. Our backup threats are Pteramander, new card from Ravnica Allegiance. This card's really, really good. Serves a similar role to Tombstalker or some sort of threat like that in this deck where you don't really often play it on turn 1. Usually end up playing it around turn 3 or 4. And it's often 2 mana for a 5/5 flyer, which is very, very good, of course. And it's mostly immune to the smaller removal spells against the Lightning Bolt decks. You can play it with multiple mana up. So you play it, go to adapt it. If they try to kill it, you can adapt it and get a response. And then we have our Crackling Drake, which standard staple, of course, looks a little weird in Modern. This is the crazy Modern format with turn 3 Karns, and what are we doing with this card? This card is essentially, as Ross described to me, suspend 1, win the game. And it is also lines up very well against most of the cards in the format. 4 toughness is the magic number, can't bolt it, which is huge. And then it can attack through things like Arclight Phoenix, Mantis Rider, things of that nature. And the ability counts the cards in your graveyard and exile. So even if your opponent plays Rest in Peace or Relic of Progenitus, this thing is still huge. So very powerful card. It is a little expensive, but it is essentially suspend 1, win the game. And to power up all of these spell-based kind of threats, we have a full set of 16 cantrips, Opt, Serum Visions, and Thought Scour. Of course, Thought Scour is nice if you hit your own Arclight Phoenixes. At one point in the tournament, Ross walked over to watch me, and I went turn 1, end step, Thought Scour, and I milled over 2 Arclights. And Ross was like, okay, he's doing it right. And of course, the best card in Modern, or one of the best cards in Modern, in Faithless Looting. And then we have our removal spells in Bolt, of course, 1 Axe, 1 Flame Slash for a little extra removal against larger creatures. And then we have our free spells, which is where the real raw power of this deck comes from. Being able to cast 2 or 3 spells on turn 2 or 3 thereby flipping Thing in the Ice on turn 3, or bringing back Phoenixes on turn 2. Manamorphose is the #1 catalyst. This is just a free spell. You just play it, and you draw a card. Definitely a hard card to play as far as choosing what mana you need to filter through, because you need to be careful about what colors you can get, what cards you can possibly draw, but one of the linchpins of a deck, and one of the most important cards of a deck. Then we have a free Gut Shot, and there used to be more of these, but there aren't as many creature decks going around. This card's obviously not great if your opponent's not playing creatures, but you do want some number of free spells so you can flip Thing in the Ice on turn 3. So we turn to Surgical Extraction, the much maligned Surgical Extraction, a card that is often made fun of for being sideboarded in far too often, which it is. But in this deck, we're honestly just looking for a reasonable free spell to play. This is our ticket to turn 3 Flip Thing in the Ice or turn 2 Arclight Phoenix. And the fact that it has utility beyond that is just nice. It's also very good in mirrors. Arclight Phoenix is very popular right now, both in this deck and the mono-red version of a deck. So we have a main deck answer to our opposing Phoenixes. And of course, there's corner case scenarios where you can hit their they're playing against Dredge or things like that. You can get lucky against a deck like Tron or Valakut by pointing your Thought Scours at them, and then if you hit a Valakut or Tron piece, you can surgical it. So it is not ideal, but it is perhaps the best free spell. Other options, Gut Shot, and then Mutagenic Growth is possible too, but that card's very finicky. That card never works for me personally. I play Thing in the Ice with my Mutagenic Growth ready to stop their that's not a good example. Normally it's Swift Spear, but whatever. You have Mutagenic Growth, and they have a Fatal Push or whatever it is, and it just never works out. So that's the main deck. Sideboard is also quite good. We have more interaction against combo decks. This deck is a little soft to fast combo, and this deck was a little soft to the Ironworks decks before they were banned. Ross for a while was sideboarding a few Stony Silences and playing one Hallowed Fountain main to answer that. And with Ironworks gone, that removes one of this deck's worst matchups in the format, thereby makes the deck better, of course. So no white necessary. Spell Pierce against fast combo decks, which is obviously very, very good. Also good against Burn. Dispel, same sort of thing. We have 2 rejections for your artifact decks that still exist. Also good against Tron, which is not a great matchup either. Bacon Bolt makes an appearance. Sometimes you got to kill Tarmogoyf or some other large creature. Baneslayer, Lyra Dawnbringer, Tarmogoyf, Death Shadow, and while not very efficient, Bacon Bolt does do that in this deck. Yes, I'm saying bacon. I love bacon. Blood Moon for your Tron matchups, Valakut, Amulet. Also good against the control decks in the format. Jeskai, things like that. Makes it hard for them to cast their spells. Extra Gut Shot for the Noble Hierarch matchups. Extra Surgical for the Graveyard matchups. I know it's rocket science here. Dragon's Claw comes out of the junk uncommons pile and into the sideboard. This card is phenomenal against Burn and the mono red Phoenix deck. This was the card that I added to the sideboard before the tournament. Ross had an Anger of the Gods and a Young Pyromancer on the board, and I wanted a little extra ammo against Burn and the mono red Phoenix deck. I played against mono red Phoenix twice, played this on turn 2 twice, and won the game fairly easily because their best way to beat you is to burn you out because your late game is better. So very, very good card. Again, in those 2 matchups, would not leave home without this card. Burn is very popular right now, as is the mono red Phoenix deck. 2 Abrades, extra removal, kills Chalice to the Void, and then 1 Rending Volley. This card's actually really good in Modern right now. Its main purpose is to kill enemy Thing in the Ice in the mirror, but it's also exceptionally good against humans and spirits, where it kills almost every card in each of their decks. 4 damage is a lot. It gets the cards your bolts can't handle and can't be countered by some things. Obviously, Spellqueller can still get it, but deck is difficult to play. This is a deck that requires a lot of finesse with your cantrips. We're going to see that over the course of our games, but it is a nice mixture of fair and unfair, where we're playing a lot of fair cards interaction, but we're also playing a lot of unfair stuff too. Attacking for 7 on turn 3, getting back double Phoenixes. This deck is capable of some pretty broken things as well. So let's jump right in. I am excited to have played this deck and looking forward to playing it in future Modern events. I'll be playing in a what is for you, the viewer, the past, for me, the future. an IQ this weekend at the Bearded Dragon in New Jersey. Nicole and I are going to spend our Valentine's Day tournament at the IQ, and I'll be playing this deck, and Nicole will be playing Tron. So hopefully I won that. We'll see. You can look that one up online. Okay, and there we go. So we're going to keep. One of the more important things about this deck is not burning your lootings early. You don't want to cast this card if you don't have good things to discard. It's very similar to Brainstorm and Legacy. Don't want to fire this one off just looking for stuff. You want to save it till you draw Phoenix and be able to discard it efficiently. And you use your cards like Serum Visions and Opt to help find those. Alright, so we're going to fetch a dual land. We're going to use our non-on-color fetch land to do that. And we're going to lead on Serum Visions, which is usually the best cantrip to lead on. Okay, and we are kind of looking for land because we have this Crackling Drake, but I don't know if we want more than one. We do have a lot of cantrips. Usually you can aggressively bottom lands because you find more of them with your cantrips. I'm going to bottom both here, actually. I think we can do better. Casting Drake on turn 4 is not necessary. We can find better things to do. There could be an argument here for having just played the land and say go and opt on their turn because it gives us the information of what they're playing before making our decisions. However, we're not playing a control deck. We're not like looking for these specific answers to their specific cards. We are definitely trying to assemble our own plan as well. So it's not like we are looking specifically for answers. We are looking for Arclight Phoenix, and casting Serum Visions gives us the best chance to find those quickly. Alright, they have bobbled themselves. So they are likely playing some Shadow deck here. Shadow is weird. They have Thoughtseize as well. Okay. Our deck is fairly resilient to Thoughtseize. It's very redundant. The fact that they played a Swamp is pretty interesting. Snow-covered Swamp, too. Love those snow-covered lands. They took our Looting, which is pretty interesting because obviously we can flash it back fairly soon. Interesting. So now we are deciding if we want to cast Opt now, because if we draw a Visions or a Looting we want to cast, we can cast it immediately. We are going to cast this Opt. So we could also decide if we want to fetch up a basic island and use that to cast our Opt. Because if we opt and draw a red card we want to cast, we'll have to fetch Shock. The only red card we want to cast is a Looting, which we're not ready to cast anyway. I'm just going to play land go. Actually, I'm sorry, hold on. We find Serum Visions too. Yeah, actually, I'm going to crack this for a island and cast an Opt. Arclight Phoenix. So at present, we have no way to put this into our graveyard. However, we have the Looting in our graveyard. We can flash back and double Manamorphose. I'm pretty happy putting this on top and drawing it. And then we're going to be saying go. Finding our third land is rather elementary. Like I said, you can pretty aggressively bottom lands. You'll find them eventually. We'll either draw spells, which are great, or we'll find a third land. We can flash back Looting and get rid of this Phoenix. It was a fairly aggressive play for our opponent to Thoughtseize our Looting, given that we can just get it back. Might mean they feel confident in their ability to put threats in play and attack us before we can flash back Looting in a reasonable time frame. While it is very ugly, I do wish that Arena had a visible log at some point. Alright, they are going to Thoughtseize us. So the question becomes, do you want to cast this Opt in response? Probably not. There's no reason to really do that because they take the Opt, whatever. And if we draw a better card than that, they'll just take that. So while we would like to cast this Opt, it's fine. We also have the ability next turn we can chain together some Manamorphose to draw our third land, and then flash back the Looting, and thereby get back Phoenix immediately. So that is an option as well. I would imagine they would lean towards taking the Drake here, I guess. I don't really know, honestly. We're pretty far from casting Drake. It is pretty threatening, but they took the Opt. Okay. So, all right, so we've drawn our Scalding Tarn. So now I believe we are going to fire off here. And just fire off Manamorphose into Looting. One concern is that the shadow decks are very, very hard to play against because they're at the point now where they're at 12, where you like almost don't even want to attack them because it helps out their shadow, but I don't think we really have a choice, honestly. So question becomes, do I want to fetch first for the very, very marginal thinning to possibly find our second Phoenix off of our 2 draws and our looting? Given that we're probably going to crack a fetch this turn anyway, it only really gets bad if we draw another land. It's very, very marginal. I mean, me and Ross were discussing this, actually, during the tournament, that, you know, people really, really overvalue deck thinning. And I was saying in spots like this where you are going to be seeing a large amount of cards in one shot, it can be a little more worth it, but the 1 point of damage might matter. We're at 16. I doubt we're going to die to exact damage here. They're going to kill us in huge chunks, not in small little increments. So I think I'm going to take the very slight uptick in possible drawing Arclights here. All right, so we drew the 1 card that obviously makes it terrible for us, but that's fine. We're probably going to discard a land anyway. So ideally, we find another Arclight here. That would be the best case scenario. We did not. We found 2 lands. All right, flashback looting. We did it. We did it. And next turn we have our Drake as well. So pretty nice. Pretty nice. Okay. So opponent's playing Shadow. What do we want here? We're definitely interested in Bacon Bolt. And Dispel? I don't like marginally situational cards against the heavy Thoughtseize decks because you often end up top decking and you want all your top decks to be good. So I don't really think we're interested in Dispel. Honestly, we don't have much here that I'm really interested in. Surgical is okay because they Thought Scour themselves, they Snapcaster themselves. It's better than a card like Gutshot, realistically. Thing in the Ice is not going to be as good against them because they have Fatal Push, but between that and Pteramander, we can kind of overload it, I think. I believe Gutshot is going to be pretty bad. Flame Slash is also pretty bad. Our bolts can at least go to the face. Axe does kill Angler, so I think we're happy keeping the axes available to us. Not a lot to board here. Not really interested in Blood Moon. Alright, I think the Surgical is fine. Keeps us at 3 free spells for faster Phoenixes. And then on the draw, maybe on the play, we're more interested in Spell Pierce because we can counter a discard spell, but on the draw, they can discard spell before we can leave up Spell Pierce, and then they'll have the knowledge of Spell Pierce for the rest of the game if they see it. So it just doesn't seem worth it. They're going to bring in some sort of graveyard hate. They might have their own surgicals. I'm an advocate of shaving a Phoenix if you're very worried about getting graveyard hated, but thankfully graveyard hate is only good against Arclight Phoenix, and if they have a card like Leyline, we actually want them to bring it in almost because it just doesn't do anything else, just a mulligan. So I'm pretty happy with this. It's light sideboarding, but this is very reasonable. Arclight is definitely our best card against them because it allows us to pressure them pretty quickly. So they're able to deal with that with surgical type effects. It's annoying, but this is fun. Alright, so pretty good hand. Triple cantrip. Threat, bolt. Pretty resilient to a discard spell. Deck only has 18 lands in it, so one-landers are fairly common, but of course finding our extra land shouldn't be too hard. And part of the allure of a deck is you're only playing 18 lands, so you don't flood very often. Draw a lot of gas. Interesting. So they have decided to play Bloodstained Mire and say go. This can often mean they have a Stubborn Denial or a Thought Scour they want to cast. Would they Stubborn Denial my Serum Visions? And if they do, would I care? I don't think I care. If I hadn't drawn the land, I would care, because we do need to find our next land drop. But because we drew it, I think I'm pretty fine just firing away here. All right, is a mountain and a thing in the ice. We're going to bottom the mountain and top the thing in the ice. And now we have access to his surgical extraction, which isn't very good, but also the ability to flip thing in the ice as a surprise at instant speed is a nice side effect of the Phyrexian mana spells. Okay. So we also have the ability here, if they cast the Fatal Push, to surgical it and protect our next thing. Once surgical's gone, they have Dismember, and that's really it. So we're going to play this. We're going to get an island, and we're going to play a thing in the ice and see what they do. It is likely to be Fatal Push, but then we can use our surgical extraction, probably in their draw step, and just pop it. They have Dismember. Which member? Dismember. Tapped is very interesting. So very telling of their hand that they don't currently have access to a shadow, because clearly going to 10 would be an ideal place to be if they have a shadow. So looks like they're pretty threat light. Kind of a weird hand, honestly. They kept 7. They played no cantrip, no Thought Scour, no Serum Visions, no discard spell. It's honestly kind of hard to place what their hand is. One nice side effect to surgical also is you can surgical your own things. So if they try to surgical my Arclights, I can surgical it in response to preserve them. All right, so an Angler's fine. I suppose we could have maybe surgicaled the Dismember to prevent that. Once they fetched. Seemed kind of obvious they were going to do that, but I'm not sure. Okay. Looting is interesting, because this may enable us to attack with Arclight Phoenix this turn. But if we go in for the looting, we're not going to flip thing in the ice for a while. I think it's fine. We're going to fire off here. Give it a shot. I'm sorry. We're going to cast... we do want the third land. So typically you want to cast your cantrips before you cast your looting, because you want to be able to draw more Arclights than discard them. But this is awkward. As I was saying, the sequencing of your cantrips is very, very difficult. Thought Scour gives us a shot at just binning a Phoenix. Opt gives us a better chance to draw a Phoenix or to draw a land. Yeah, I think we're going to opt. Another looting. I think we bottom this. We don't need to put that many cards in our graveyard. And the lootings are just card disadvantage without putting good cards in the graveyard. I'm going to bottom that. All right, we drew a Sulfur Falls. That's a pretty good draw. So we're going to fire off our looting here. Actually, we could scour first. I'm sorry, I think we scour first. Now we found a land, we should scour first and try and draw the Phoenix we're going to discard. So okay, we did not. Right, now we cast our looting. Another surgical. So we will discard the Arclight and I think the land, because if they don't have surgical here, we can actually flip thing in the ice next turn with thing, spell, free spell, free spell, spell. So let's just discard the land. You always draw more lands. All right, the Arclight is back and it's acting, which feels pretty good. There's obviously a little bit of awkwardness as far as flipping thing in the ice and bouncing the Arclight back to your hand, but typically if you flip a thing in the ice, you're pretty happy. So definitely a slightly awkward hand on our part, but they went top, and they have a second basic land. This is very weird. Honestly, with them going top, surgicaling them becomes somewhat attractive. Let's see what we draw here. Another looting. All right. Well, first things first, we're going to attack. Let's see what happens. All right, they're going to take it. All right. We are going to play our thing in the ice and start casting spells. This bolt is lethal next turn, so I don't think we want to cast this looting because there's not much I want to actually discard. I think we just cast Thought Scour. I can also just Thought Scour them instead of surgicaling them. I can even do both. You know, I don't mind drawing a land, so I can cast other things too. All right, let's start by Thought Scouring them. All right, so they put a Mire and a Push on top. They went top. That is weird. Why would they want a Bloodstained Mire on top of their deck? That is very, very peculiar. All right, we just Spirebluff Canal. We're not super interested in casting this looting, though, honestly. But we will have the ability to bolt surgical, and flip thing in the ice at instant speed. So we're going to... Oh, never mind. We have it's a Spirebluff Canal, not a Sulfur Falls, though. Okay, so... Alright, this is all fine. We could surgical their fatal pushes. Okay, never mind. So that's fine. As it stands, we have lethal next turn. So it's possible they wanted to keep their Mire for the Revolt on their Fatal Push to kill my Phoenix as a possible outcome. The Bauble targeted me. Serum Visions. They still have 4 cards in hand. So now we're in an awkward spot where if they have a Stubborn Denial, things get awkward. We're going to start casting some spells here. Try and find a second Phoenix. Visions first. Another Phoenix. Excellent. So now you just do everything, threaten them, make them cast Stubborn Denial, and then kill them with the Lightning Bolt. So we're going to go opt into Phoenix into... Or just, we can just looting also. This is top. Okay, so now we have surgical to stop Snapcaster Mage. Oh, actually, I'm sorry, they can't snap and Stubborn Denial, so they counter that. We know what our next card is, so I think we just go for the kill. Casting Opt doesn't even do anything because we just know the top card of our deck now. It's an Arclight Phoenix. We want it there, but don't want to just slowly draw it. The spell doesn't really matter, so let's just attack. Alright, and as far as trying to kill them with Lightning Bolt, when do we want to do it? If we let them untap, it opens up Snapcaster, Stubborn Denial. But if they have a second Stubborn Denial, it makes them waste the mana on their turn. We're just casting Arclight Phoenix next turn to kill them. So don't really want to go to 5 either way, although Surgical on Snapcaster could do that. Let me just do it now. If they have a second Stubborn Denial, they have to cast it and not Snapcaster Mage. So, yeah, so... Alright. So if they have someone to deal us 2 damage, we lose. Or a Battle Rage, I suppose. Alright, so I don't think we could have done anything differently this game. These obviously weren't very good, but gut shots wouldn't have been any better. Maybe the card Dispel could have come in. Like maybe Dispel is just better than Surgical Extraction. Like Surgical is obviously not good, but okay. So now we have interest in like Spell Pierce or Dispel that were on the play. So maybe we want to cut. I'm pretty happy. Izzet Charm's not very good. I'm going to cut at least one Surgical. And I think Dispel literally only counters Battle Rage and Stubborn Denial. I mean, Stubborn Denial is good. I guess it counters Fatal Push too. All right, yeah, maybe I actually want the Dispel. So let's cut a Surgical Rejection. Maybe we just boarded badly. I typically don't like these sorts of like finicky, specific answer kind of cards against Shadow, but I might be thinking a little bit too much about other decks and not how this deck works specifically. And our Surgicals were obviously pretty bad that game. I think honestly that game might have been lost on turn 3. We could have Surgicaled their was it Fatal Push? Whatever card it was, before they cast their Angler, when they fetched, we could have Surgicaled at that point, and they couldn't have cast the Angler. That might have won us the game, honestly. So maybe that was it. Okay, this hand's fine. It's not great, it's fine. Target himself. Alright, nothing crazy here. There should be like an unglued or whatever, unhinged card that's like some sort of ponder variant where it's like really good, but it says you must resolve it in 2 seconds or like you have to discard a card or something. Because like obviously, famously these cantrips take so long to resolve. Oh my god, their hand could be anything. It could even be a boat. Right, we're going to get our dual land. Having duels is very important because you don't know what color spells you're going to draw with so many 1-mana cantrips. Top card is Thought Scour. It's fine. I think it's better than a random card. It'd be cool if another one, sure. Targeting me. Okay. Another land. That's pretty gross. Unfortunately, I think we're just casting Thing in the Ice here. We have no way to really protect it. We could like opt Thought Scour, but then we're kind of blowing all of our spells before we play it. But obviously, there's plenty of spells in our deck. We don't have that many ways to protect it. We have the 1 Dispel and the 2 Spell Pierces. So it's not like we're, over flush with ways to stop them from interacting with it. And turn 3 is obviously a lot slower than turn 2. Worst case scenario, they just like go push Angler next turn. But I think we're going to cast it. We also have the awkward scenario of don't want to play this Mountain really because we have a lot of blue spells. Maybe just Tarn for an island. So they have cycled a lot of cards. Vision Scry was top bottom, which is pretty average. Also, if we try and like leave this in our hand and set up for next turn, it just becomes vulnerable to all of our discard spells too. So I think some of the hope here is they just haven't drawn a Fatal Push or Dismember. It's a pretty sweet card. See, 2 mana Dismember. Yeah. Nope, it's full Dismember. Okay. And an Angler. So the worst case scenario that I described has just happened of them having Kill Spell plus Angler, which is pretty bad for us. But what are we gonna do? You know, we're gonna draw Serum Visions. All right, so we're gonna lead on Thought Scour or Opt. Visions is last in the chain because it sets up your scry. Probably Thought Scour first because it's the least controlled, and we want the most information for our cantrips to make better choices. So yeah, we're gonna Thought Scour here. You should get lucky. Had a Phoenix too. Nope. We get Dispel, Serum Visions, and the Phoenix ended up in our hand, which is not ideal. Cast Opt. Finding a looting here would be nice. That's a Pteramander with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spells in the graveyard. Our Serum Visions is 6. It'd be pretty easy to make this a 5/5 next turn. The question, of course, is will it live? I think I kind of want to dump it. I'd rather draw like an answer to Angler or just a looting or something else. Pteramander takes a little too long to set up, I think. I'm going to bottom this. Sulfur Falls. Alright. There's our looting. We drew another land? Jeez. Alright. We're going to keep this top so we can looting into a Serum Visions. Alright, not a great sequence of cards there. I find Shadow to be very frustrating. I feel like whenever I play against the deck, they always have these, good early threat draws of disruption. Whenever I try and play this deck, I just never draw a threat, or things just never work out properly. It's a very, very difficult deck to play. I'm probably just playing it badly. We screwed up. I think we put our cards backwards. We put back, oh my god. What's going on? How do they draw all threats? Yeah, we put back looting. Yeah, it should have been Visions, then looting. So we could cast Visions, draw, and scry looking for Phoenixes. We did this backwards. We're just going to cast the Manamorphose. Anyway, I think we're pretty dead here. This has been a pretty good draw from our opponent. This matchup doesn't seem very good. Crackling Drake, Thing in the Ice, Opt. Unless we're somehow capable of flipping Thing in the Ice this turn, it seems pretty bad. So I think we're trying to dump both these, try and find more Phoenixes. Alright, here we go. Godspeed us. Alright, we did it. Unfortunately, we're a little short. We have 9 and they're at 10, which is just the way that things go sometimes. I believe we're going to return our Arclights and just say go. Pretty annoying. We're 1 short, but we can't really attack and make their shadows bigger, so we're just going to put them back on D. We'll play a land tapped. We're also kind of spell light too, so returning these Arclights is not going to be super easy. But we're in like a kind of interesting spot where if they attack, we can block the shadows and force them to take another point of damage. And then we could chain together cards. But they probably have like Stubborn Denial anyway, because they're just going to crush us. Because they've had basically everything so far, so why not have more too? Typically, these Shadow decks have been always good against the Lightning Bolt decks. Obviously, all of their threats are unlightning boltable. So when our primary method of interaction is basically worthless against them, they tend to do pretty well. They also just have good answers to our Thing in the Ice draws. So seems like a bad matchup. It's my first time playing it, but it does not seem very good for us. Of course, part of the power of the deck is that we almost killed them last turn despite their really good draw. We're just 1 point off, unfortunately. That's a very peculiar card to have in against us. Neither half seems very good. But we are just dead, so I guess it's fine. All right. Unfortunate. We block one creature and take 11. So they were pretty dead. Maybe. All right. Tough first match there. Tough first match. Matchup seems pretty bad. Not sure if there are many ways to make it better, honestly. Unless we're splashing for like Path to Exile or something like that. We just don't have many clean answers to the card Death Shadow. And then Angler's pretty good too. We have our 1 Lightning Axe for Angler, so once they play a threat, it's probably going to stick. And their threats obviously kill very, very fast. Again, I think the big mistake we made that match was probably not Surgical Link to stop them from casting Angler in game 2. We probably would have won that game 2 if we had. So usually with Shadow, someone makes a mistake at some point to lose. The deck is too hard to play and play against to have it be anything else. Alright. This hand is not great, but looting saves the day most of the time. Pteramander. Alright, we're going to fire off a looting here. We prefer to play the other cantrips, but given the relative weakness of our hand and the fact we need a second land here, we're pretty happy to fire off here. That's not great. Alright, so we're going to dump the Crackling Drake and the Lightning Axe. No idea what our opponent's playing yet. Just tapped Godless Shrine. Could be a lot of things. Probably a fair deck, but I don't think Lightning Axe is going to be great. And Lightning Axe is one of its main jobs is to discard Phoenixes. We have a second looting for that. So, and we're always off of casting Drake. So that's a pretty easy discard. Field of Ruin, go. Okay. Alright, so we definitely want the second land. Looting gives us the same amount of looks as Opt does. So we're going to Opt here. If we miss, it's worse than casting Serum Visions. If we hit, though, it's a lot better, obviously, and we have a better chance to hit. So let's try and hit. Let's say Thought Scour on the bottom. And a land. Damn, we're good. And now we're going to cast Serum Visions. Because we can just put together the rest of our stuff here. A second Bolt, another Looting, and an Island. I don't think I want either one of these cards. Second Looting is not necessary, and then we just bottom most of our lands because we'll draw more spells. So these Bolts probably aren't going to be great. Shambling Vents, go. So some sort of weird mid-rangey black-white deck. Probably with some amount of Path to Exiles, which is going to be interesting. It makes me kind of wish I kept this Crackling Drake, but we're going to cast our Looting here because we are out of cantrips to cast. We could fire off some Manamorphose, but let's see, what do we have now? 1, 2, 4 spells in the graveyard for Pteramander. I mean, they're probably another push Path deck. Unfortunately, Push and Path are very good against us. Part of the allure of Pteramander, Drake, and Thing in the Ice is they're all immune to lightning bolt effects, and obviously these cards just kill them, but if we Manamorphose, I don't know what colors to choose, honestly. Well, that would be the third spell. I guess we'll Manamorphose. I guess we'll do red. Talking about a Phoenix here. That's a Steam Vents. Alright. I'm fine casting a Looting here, because if we hit a Phoenix, we have a third spell to cast, so... Surgical Thing in the Ice. Yikes, that is awkward. Alright. I almost don't hate, like, surgicaling a Path or Push or something. They also probably playing Lingering Souls, so I'm going to just jump 2 bolts here. The bolts are probably pretty bad. We're going to cast Thing in the Ice, it's probably going to die, but... We have a backup threat. Yeah. They're going to go, like, land Gideon allies in the car or something. Alright, close. That's going to be pretty annoying, honestly. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, so Pteramander is a 2-mana Tombstalker. We're probably surgicaling. I guess we're going to Serum Visions. Fortunately, this card also is pretty good against us because we usually have one big threat in play. So we haven't found Phoenixes yet. Looting, Thought Scour, and a land. It's pretty gross. Don't want either of these either. So we just play Pteramander here, like they're just going to target it with the Gideon. So we might be interested in just casting Manamorphose and trying to flash back a Looting and look for a Phoenix. You know, we're 20 cards deep with no Phoenixes yet, so our odds are, you know, not amazing, but reasonable. Yeah. And we're going to make... Doesn't matter, make it's blue-red's fine. Opt. Oh, hello. What have we here? We've cast Serum Visions, Manamorphose, and Looting. Perfect. We did it. Let's take this Gideon out of the equation. And Fatal Push is fine. It's all good, y'all. We did it. And they miss a land drop. Alright, let's attack and see what's going on here. Alright, so we're going to bolt our own creature to prevent this Path Exile from doing anything, which is a good use of our lightning bolts. So we've already discarded, we only have 1 bolt left, and our axe is gone too. It's very unlikely we'll be able to draw a bolt off his opt. It's not worth it. This is fine. And we have 2 options here. We can flash back a Looting, or we can just cast Pteramander and get it into play. If I had Lingering Souls, they probably would have cast it last turn. Maybe they've run a Path twice. Alright, I'll just cast Pteramander. And we'll just crank it up. The longer you wait on Looting, the better it gets, so... Not really worth surgicaling the push of the Path. I want to save the spell for Arclight next turn. We'll probably have enough spells, but... Basically, any card we draw would be discarded to this. We could draw exactly Crackling Drake, I guess, and that would be good. I guess we just cast it. It's just a chance to draw Crackling Drake. Thought Scour. That's his bottom, I guess. Gut Shot, great. Gut Shot has not been good so far. Still got this looting in the graveyard, though, so shouldn't be too hard to get 3 spells next turn. Yeah, you got it. Go nuts. The free spells are definitely not nearly as good in these kind of fair matchups because the free spells are predicated on making sure you have better nut draws. You know, God. You have a better way to flip thing on turn 3 in a fair matchup where they're casting Fatal Push and Path to Exile. That's not as necessary. We saw that last match. We're seeing it again this match. Typically, there aren't less fair decks in Modern, so... Alright, so they took our Surgical when it would have actually been good, which is unfortunate. Let's just start off on looting. Man, a lot of doo-doo here. Serum Visions. Wow. Land. So that's 2 spells. I guess we're just casting the looting, because discarding Gut Shot's fine anyway. And if we want to cast, we have to cast a 3rd spell here. And just casting Gut Shot's pretty awful, so let's cast the looting. Spirebluff and Gut Shot. Right. They only have 2 cards left. I mean, they obviously have Lingering Souls in the graveyard, but... Damnation. Sure. Just your average Modern deck, you know? Manamorphose is kind of nice. Good thing. Pretty happy with blue-red. Another looting. Yeah. Plays. Find more of the Phoenix. Nope. Spirebluff, Thought Scour. I kind of like discarding the Spirebluff and the Charm and just casting Thought Scour. Hit me. I can't see. No more Arclights. That's fun. There's 1 ice counter left. We still have lootings in our graveyard. We have fluff in our hand. They are almost out of. They only have 2 cards in their hand. They have a lot of shambling vents. Lingering Souls not looking too impressive. We could even flash back a looting and then bounce the Phoenix back and then discard it, which is awesome. So that's what we're going to open on Faithless Looting. This triggers Thing in the Ice. Thing in the Ice resolves. It flips, puts the Phoenix back into our hand. Then the looting resolves. And we discard Phoenix, Spirebluff Canal. So that's unfortunately only 1 spell. Yeah, I guess we're just going to cast Thought Scour and try another spell. Do you want to cast this Thing in the Ice first? Nah, just play on Damnation. We'll just cast Thought Scour. Alright, kind of a tilt, but they didn't flash back their Lingering Souls. I guess they were playing around the flip. So we have 2 Phoenixes still in our 15 cards in our deck. We have all these Thing in the Ice. But we are attacking them, and we are doing things. Gideon, ally of Zendikar. That's actually not bad. Alright. We're drawing all of the creatures. Alright, I guess we're playing another thing and we're flashing back looting, I guess? Like... we could just flash back the looting and try and draw 2 more spells. You know, if you find a second Phoenix, we just kill this stupid Gideon. Yeah, we'll just flash back the looting. I don't think playing Thing in the Ice is necessary yet. Like, if we play Thing in the Ice, I don't even want to flash back looting because we can't have multiple spells. Let's just try and get a little luckier with Phoenixes. Alright, let's discard Phoenix, and let me discard a Thing. Opt. Flooded Strand bottom, spell, Flame Slash. That is, I suppose, acceptable. We will kill one of the flyers. Doesn't really matter, I guess. It doesn't actually matter. I guess everything will attack them. Or I guess it actually does sort of matter. I could go land Pteramander. I don't think I want to do that. So now I think that they're at 9. I don't think Gideon matters. I guess they'd be Shambling Vents. If they like emblem the Gideon and then attacking with Shambling Vents could get kind of annoying. But if we attack Gideon with everything, it goes to 1 if they block. If we attack them with everything, they just like chump, and go to 6 and still have a Gideon. Maybe they emblem and Shambling Vent, or they cast like a Wrath of God or something. It's kind of a weird spot, honestly. We have no lootings left. We're actually running out of cards. We have 11 cards in our deck. This is tough. Really tough game. I think we attack them. Putting Gideon to 1 doesn't seem particularly useful. It's annoying, but alright. Wish we had that surgical extraction, you know? They're attacking for 5. That is aggressive. Alright, we draw Scalding Tarn. So I guess we're just playing all of our stuff out at this point. They have no cards in hand, we'll just try and kill them. Pteramander also blocks the possible Shambling Vent attack. So this is a matchup where you'd want a card like Ralzeric, or some sort of other like non-creature threat. Used to be like a Ralzeric or 2 in the sideboard, but these sorts of fair decks haven't been too popular in Modern lately, so got cut for other things. Trying to figure out our 10 cards left, honestly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 4 lands. There is 1 Arclight, 1 Lightning Bolt, 4 lands, 6 cards. An Opt. 2 Thought Scours. Thought Scour on the bottom from one of our scries, I believe. Actually, we should know our scries. I don't think we've shuffled since then. As they path us, I don't recall exactly when the path happened, but so it looks like it's 4 lands. Arclight Bolt at 6. Scours 7, 8. There's a Drake in there. That's 9. And then So the question is, do I block this with the Thing in the Eyes, or go to 5? I think block. Otherwise we die to a Wrath. I don't think this Thing in the Eyes matters, even no spells anyway, so. Yes, all our things are gone. We have Drake. Pteramander's there. Another land. Alright, they've got some lands. Aren't they just dead? They look dead to me. Just attack with only our air creatures and they die. I guess I Thought Scour me. There's the bolt. I don't know why I'm casting spells, I'm just wasting time. I just killed them. Attack with heal and heal and heal and heal. And they block this, take 6 and die. Cool. So he beat Double Path Push. This card's often good against us. Opponent's just playing some weird black-white tokens something deck. I'm gonna bring in these Blood Moons. I like that. Surgical's obviously fine against the Lingering Souls, but it's not exactly exciting. I don't think we really need that. I don't mind a Bacon Bolt. They could easily bring in like Lyra or Baneslayer or something like that. I think our Gut Shot is terrible. Feels like our Flame Slash and Lightning Axes are also terrible. I think Spell Pierce seems pretty reasonable. And then Izzet Charm's pretty cuttable. Almost don't mind cutting a Phoenix. We'll leave like one Surgical maybe. They have like Rest in Peace or Leyline, and you don't want the Phoenixes, but if they're gonna focus on Surgicals or something like that, then this is fine. So I think I'm pretty happy with this. It's possible that Izzet Charm is just better than Gut Shot. I mean, Surgical. Yeah, maybe it just is. Yeah, Surgical's bad. Again, the free spells aren't as necessary because we're not looking to Goldfish. We're looking to interact more, so we can slow down a bit and have better interactive cards rather than try and just flip thing on turn 3 and just get it pathed or whatever. So I'm pretty happy with this. Izzet Charm can counter Planeswalkers and stuff too, so it's not great, but I feel like these Blood Moons are going to be pretty good if they aren't snagged by discard. Okay, it's fine. 3 lands is not exciting, but you know, our deck's pretty consistent, does what it does. Here are cantrips. I'm gonna say go. I'm gonna Thought Scour. I want to see a little more. I want a little more information, and I don't know if I'm ready to cast Serum Visions yet. Let's Thought Scour ourselves. 2 Steam Vents. That makes things a little awkward as far as fetching goes. That's both of our Steam Vents, but that's okay, I suppose. Lightning Bolt. All right, so we'll just actually opt first. Thing in the Eyes. And Serum Visions. Drake, Thing in the Ice. I don't think I want the second Thing in the Ice. The first one may die, but maybe I do. Just be kind of threat heavy against their removal spells. I mean, definitely want Drake. Yeah, we'll go top. See what they have going on. I fetched the basics. They're playing around Blood Moon, so alright, that's fine. Gideon of the Trials. It's a little bad for our Thing in the Ices, but its top card's Crackling Drake. It makes things a little awkward because you want to cast Opt or Thought Scour, but Gideon's actually pretty annoying for us, truth be told. We may just, I don't want to Thought Scour them. It's like, yeah, like a Lingering Soul or something. Alright, so there's your Fatal Push. Just not going to cast either of these spells. And I'm going to play Opt to try and find a land. We're going to bottom that. That's actually fine, too. Now we'll see if this thing dies or not. And then if it doesn't, we can probably flip it next turn. We have access to Phoenix. Spirebluff Canal. Alright, let's Manamorphose. Let's make red. Let's start there. Probably end up cast. What is this? Maybe a Path to Exile for my Thing in the Ice. I think a mountain is prudent. So we still want red for Polluted Looting. We may actually cast our Thought Scour first, but draw Sulfur Falls. Alright. So let's Thought Scour us. Jeez. Alright. Discard Phoenix, Spirebluff Canal. I'm going to bolt the Gideon, and I'm going to try and attack the Gideon. And I have a Spell Pierce, which can't counter much, unfortunately. They have Path or Push. Can't stop it. But it's better than nothing, I suppose. I have 2 Arclights. I forgot. That's right. I only have 1. Let's attack Gideon with both. Just be sure. They have 2 cards in hand. They're playing like a bajillion removal spells, so actually pretty sweet if they went like Field Everyone Fatal Push, if we can counter that, but they seem to not have it, so alright. So we're a reasonable spot here. I only have 2 cards left. That's fine. Also Opt, I guess, right? Yeah. I think it's actually pretty. Actually, no, they're getting the basic off Field of Ruin. Let's bottom it. Turning off Shambling the vents is kind of nice, but the vents are so low impact. It's not going to come down to vents. Just draw spells. It's pretty cool. We only have 1 land left. We gotta be aware. Obviously, we lost our 2 steam vents, but I think we're pretty ahead here. The vents also make our random lightning bolts better, so we might get them with the Spell Pierce. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. That's pretty gassy. Just play 2 big threats. Suppose they have a Wrath of God, it's pretty annoying, but I'm pretty happy with this, I guess. If they have Wrath in their deck, still, that's pretty ambitious. Kind of sucks. Obviously they do. Why wouldn't they have Wrath in their deck still? Why wouldn't they have Wrath in their deck still? They have Rest in Beast too? Alright. That's fine. So, save the Thought Scour. That's a lot of Spirebluff Canals. Alright, so Thought Scour ourselves. Serum Visions. Yeah, Visions. Blood Moon, Arclight Phoenix. I think I actually want the Blood Moon now because there's almost nothing left. We'll just get rid of these Shambling Vents. So we'll go top. And we get to just fire off a looting out of the graveyard. Discard Phoenix and a dead fetch land. And we have no other lootings, right? I can fire up 1, activate. It still only brings us to 1 if they do that. This is fine. Attack all. I'm gonna play Spirebluff Canal. Keep coming back for more. I mean, okay. Creature sacrificed. You got it. All right, that's a plan, I guess. Bacon Bolt, not the most exciting card. Blood Moon, that's pretty exciting. So do we bother attacking Liliana? I don't think so. Just attack them. They're in. I mean, we have given them red mana, so they want to lightning bolt us. They can do that. That is a thing they can do. They discard a Shambling Vent. They have 1 card left. What is it? Suppose if it is a Wrath of God, we keep playing the game. It is not. Okay, so we beat black-white cards. I think the important part there is that, as I was saying in the first match, that decks with Fatal Push and removal like that are a little slower can be good against us because our lightning bolts are bad. Their removal's good against us, and we still ground through and beat them. Not easily, but we got them pretty good. So that's a good, it's a pretty nice notch in the old belt for this deck. Throwing all their Path to Exiles and stuff at us. Like, I don't get the Lilianas. I mean, I hope we get Liliana every match in this league. So, all right. Sulfur Falls, Flooded Strand, Lightning Axe, Flame Slash, Thing in the Ice, Crackling Drake. Oh boy. This is the kind of hand where if they're playing creatures, our deck is really, really good. Or his hand's really, really good, and if they're not, our hand's pretty bad. I'm gonna keep. In like the nightmare scenario where they're just playing like Ad Nauseam or blue-white control or something, our deck's just all cantrips. You know, like, we'll find things to do. And if they're playing literally any deck with creatures in it, this hand seems great. So I'm going to keep. It's a little loosey-goosey, but we do have 2 threats. Well, 3 threats in that scenario, so. Okay. Looks to be a mirror. Yes, looks like a mirror. Alright, it's fine for the mirror. Thing in the Ice is very, very good in the mirror. Lightning Axe and Flame Slash keep their Thing in the Ice under control, so while not an ideal hand, it's definitely doable. Their scry was bottom top, just the old average. If they go like land Thing in the Ice here, and we get to go Thing in the Ice Flame Slash, that feels pretty good. Ooh, this is great. This is wonderful. They just 2-for-1 themselves, and we get to play another Thing in the Ice. With the Drake, with a Drake on tap. This feels fantastic. Excellent. Right, I would love the cantrip there. We could just jam Crackling Drake here. It is somewhat unlikely this thing flips next turn. Even if it does, we can double spell and kill it. I'm seeing a nice spot here to resolve Drake. I think we're just going to do it. It is a little risky. Maybe I'm being a little too risky here. I mean, we have Axe plus Bolt to kill it if it flips. It bounces our Drake, so we should get to draw another card off of it. Yeah, I would supposed to be risky here. Let's be a little ambitious. They haven't cast any cantrips really. Like, oops. I don't think taking 7 damage here is the end of the world, and we have plenty of answers for it. So, and they clearly don't have answers. So, I like the setup turn here. We do Surgical Extraction. That's pretty interesting. That's actually a pretty good defensive draw. Because now they're trying to have a crazy Arclight turn also. We get to answer that with our Surgical, so. Sure. Okay. Alright, they did Arclight Phoenix. They have another looting. There's a lot of spells. Another Arclight Phoenix. They really shoving all in here. Could have their own Surgical, which would be a little annoying, but yep, they do. Okay. So they only get 1 Arclight back, but we get to untap and kill their Awoken Horror and flip our thing in the ice, probably. Taking 10 here, going to 5. Maybe it's just too risky. Maybe I don't know. Opt. Okay. Yeah, just opt Bolt Lightning Axe. Izzet Charm on the bottom. A looting? I think I'm fine. I want to keep this Flame Slash for the next thing in the ice. So I think I'm fine. The problem is that if this Phoenix comes back next turn, because we have Bolt for it. Maybe we'll use Slash Axe and keep Bolt for Phoenix. Oh, yes, we're gonna bounce it and they're gonna recast it. Yeah, I actually like that. Let's we have 2. What's Axe plus Slash and keep the Bolt in our hand. I don't think it's like a second thing in this is gonna matter. We're just gonna kill the next turn or present lethal. So let's Axe discarding looting. And Flame Slash. Flip, kill, attack. And they've already cast multiple bolts, which is an important part of this too. They only have 2 bolts left. So if they double bolt us, what are you gonna do? Looking back, I think maybe my line was a little too aggressive. We could have just killed the thing in the ice and played it safe. And now we're in a spot where like things could go badly for us. Oh man, we get max punished for casting the Flame Slash instead. Alright. That's funny. Alright. I mean, it's pretty funny. Alright, well. I mean, it wasn't going to be that bad. We were going to trade Awoken Horror for that and cast our own Crackling Drake and still be in pretty good shape. But that works too. That's pretty funny. So. Probably could have played that game better. Fortunately, it still worked out for us. Sideboard, what do we want? I definitely like a Bacon Bolt as a way to deal with Drake and Thing in the Ice and Pteramander. I like Rending Volley. I like Surgical Extraction. I also like Dispel. What do I not like? I don't like Gut Shot. I don't like Lightning Bolt very much, honestly. And I don't like Izzet Charm. This is also a matchup where I think it's fine boarding out one Phoenix, because they're definitely going to have 3 Surgicals post-board. Just cut a Phoenix. And then we'll cut, like, I guess, a Bolt. Is Izzet Charm better than Lightning Bolt? Izzet Charm gets worse once you have less Arclight Phoenixes. Izzet Charm, it seems worse than Lightning Bolt. The Spell Pierce mode's pretty bad. Don't think we're interested in our own Spell Pierces. I don't want to trade resources in that direction. Most of the things we would counter would just be like a cantrip anyway. I guess countering Manamorphose Spell Pierce is pretty good because it stops the chain. Maybe that's fine. Maybe we'll try that. I don't actually know if it's good or not. But we're going to try one Spell Pierce for science. Lightning Bolt's pretty bad, so... I don't think Dragon's Claw is where it's at. Dragon's Claw is more for matches where we have strategic inevitability and they have damage-based inevitability. For example, in the Red Mirror, where if they're playing mono red Arclight, Sulfur Falls. We have late game inevitability because we have better cantrips, but they have the inevitability of we can't gain life. They just lava spike us and kill us. So it turns off that avenue and flips the entire matchup around strategically. I think we're gonna keep. We're on the draw. Any land that casts Looting makes his hand the nuts. And then, even if we have to play a tap land on turn 1, we have Looting plus Phoenix. We have Flame Slash for their thing in the ice. We have a cantrip. This Sulfur Falls does look really awkward. I know Ross likes the one Sulfur Falls over the third Steam Vents. This is the downside to playing it. The upside is obviously not taking damage. And having dual lands is so important. But I'm going to keep this end. Maybe I'm a maniac. But I like how it lines up with turn 2 thing in the ice. I like our looting otherwise. And then, of course, if we just draw a land, our hand is fantastic. So... there you go. It's easy as that. And now we need to decide what we want to do. Leave up Thought Scour, cast Looting, leave up Spell Pierce. We're kind of a ways away from getting back Phoenix anyway. I don't know what I want to Spell Pierce, honestly. I suppose the best Spell Pierce target is probably just Manamorphose. Just stop chains. Casting Thought Scour is pretty reasonable. The fear of Thought Scour is I hit a Phoenix and they surgical me, and then I lose the Phoenix from my hand. That is pretty unlikely, though. Also leaves open Spell Pierce in case they do something stupid. We have to counter it. Yeah. Ooped. I mean, there she is. I think we do it. This could easily be turn 2 Arclight if you just go Looting into Spell. I'm going to counter this. Feels really weird, but we don't have an answer to the Phoenix right now. This gives us a lot more shots at a Surgical and stuff like that. Alright, I'm pretty happy just playing Land Go here. We get to opt in Thought Scour. Don't want to cast Looting yet. I'm not there yet. Because what else can turn 2 Manamorphose mean? You know, like, why else would you just raw dog a Manamorphose if you weren't going to play turn 2 Phoenix? Never doing nothing, though. It's kind of weird, too. So, let's go ourselves. Opt Dispel Flooded Strand. Opt Tarn bottom. Tarn. Scrybug. Alright, this feels like a surgical pause. Thing in the Ice. I think I'm pretty happy just playing Thing in the Ice here and then casting Looting. let them have the Phoenixes, whatever. Let's improve our hand and focus on our other threats, which we now have. So let's just get an island. And thing. And looting. Rending Volley, Surgical Extraction. Okay. So I suppose Volley is just a better Flame Slash, because anything we would Flame Slash, we would Volley also. And they haven't cast a thing in the ice. So I think I'm fine discarding both. This does leave us a little soft to their threats later on. They have more than one, but we have a Bacon Bolt in our deck. We have Drake. We should just discard the land. You know what? Let's just discard the land. Yeah, I don't need to cast Crackling Drake next turn. If I draw a spell, great. If I draw a land, great. Let's keep our removal spells. We have an answer to Phoenix, and there are other things. We're answering basically everything here. So I guess if we think they have Surgical, they're going to see my hand and be able to play accordingly. But and 3 very interactive matchups so far. We're all the Tron decks. Flame Slash, my thing in the ice. All right. Alright, this is going to be a draw step Surgical probably. It would be, I guess we can defend with our own Surgical. Wow, a second Crackling Drake. Alright. Yeah, ship a turn. I'm not casting Looting. All the cards in my hand are great, so I'm in no rush. I mean, we have most of their cards covered. Honestly, we have Arclight covered. We have Thing in the Ice covered. We have Drake covered. We have 2 of our own Drakes. We're in no rush here. Just chill. Your turn. Like, their hand probably isn't as good as ours. Sure. We're gonna slash that. Alright, we drew a land. That's awkward. Okay, argument towards volleying would definitely be to not be in the scenario we're in right now, where we now can't cast our Drake. Maybe just cast the Drake. It's a 3-power creature. We're not going to die to it. Whatever, just cast it. Okay. Puts pressure on them to have an answer to our Drake. Pyromancer's Ascension. Now that is a name I haven't heard in a long time. Seems pretty good in the mirror. Surgical doesn't do much to this. Alright. I mean, if this thing goes off, we're probably dead. But we have our second Drake. And just 2 quest counters? That's so easy. Ross played this in one of the classics. He said it was kind of mediocre. Like, it was occasionally bonkers. And a lot of time it just kind of like floated and didn't do much. Problem is, once it's on, like, their lightning bolts become really good. This is bad. This is going to be pretty hard to beat. Oh my god. Once your cantrips turn into, I think we're going to surgical this right now so they don't just draw their own surgical. Once your cantrips turn into mini ancestral recalls, it's pretty hard to win. Heh! They have one in their hand? Guess. Alright, I mean, they have nothing left. They have a looting in the bin? No. So let's get a look at their deck real fast. They have their own Bacon Bolt. So they only have Axe, Bolt, Bolt, Bacon Bolt. They can actually answer my Drake. So our best draw is a land. So we can just kill our Drake, play our Drake, and kill him in 2 shots. That's our best chance to win here. If this game goes long at all, we are super dead. They milled Thing in the Ice Island. Alright. Well, this is a lot of damage. Now we're just dead to a bolt, right? We go to 5, yeah. Alright. Land? Manamorphose. Yeah, I'm fine firing this off, just trying to draw a land. Give me red. Blue. That is not a land. That is a Surgical Extraction. Maybe we... We have an Arclight in our graveyard too, actually. That's the thing. So we cast... I guess we'll just cast this Looting, and then cast this one of these removal spells. Serum Visions, Manamorphose. I think we're past the point of wanting Surgical. Oh, they Bacon Bolt. So they can just Bacon Bolt my Drake. We need a Surgical Extraction to stop that from happening. Alright, let's ditch one of our Rending Volley effects and probably the Manamorphose. We'll cast Serum Visions into Rending Volley and get back our Phoenix and cast Drake next turn, and we'll Bacon Bolt the thing and we'll just try and get him. Here's your Lightning Bolts. Bottom Looting and bottom land. Oh my god, we're so dead. Draw 4, discard 2, and they can flash it back and draw 4 more and discard. Yeah, we're just super dead. I don't really have an answer to this card, honestly. Like, our hand was really, really good. Like, they're playing this card in our Pteramander slot. Oh my god. I think Pteramander is better in most matchups, but the mirror does seem pretty good. They Thought Scoured us. I guess they don't have any Arclights anymore, so they just want to Thought Scour us. Sure, it's fine. Yeah, like, we're just dead. I mean, whatever, like... I don't think that surgicaling their bolts, they only have 2 bolts in their entire deck, is a reasonable course of action. We need the surgical to hit the Bacon Bolt, so... definitely annoying. It might make me more interested in the next Spell Pierce. To try and stop this stupid thingy. Makes me less interested in Lightning Axe, honestly. Just because these bolts are terrible. We'll just cut the bolts. Maybe I'll just cut the bolts. We bring in another Spell Pierce on the play. We bring in the Izzet Charm too, actually. I still don't want the 4th Arclight. They still have surgicals and stuff. Alright. They still have all their bolts in. It's kind of weird. Bolt just seems like almost... I guess it's part of their plan with the Ascension. They just use bolts to kill you, so... Sand's pretty great. We might want to fetch in case our tops. Actually, we can just draw out Serum Visions. Never mind. Yeah, it's fine. Strand Mountain. Bottom. They go bottom top. We draw Surgical Extraction. Visions, Thought Scour, Thing in the Ice, Thought Scour. That's all top skis. I suppose if they have Thing here, we don't have an answer to it yet. They have Ascension. Nice Spell Pierce, Jim. Thank you. I appreciate you appreciating my Spell Pierce. This is my life. I sit here and talk to myself while playing a Magic Online on the computer. It's a good life. I can't complain. So you have Thought Scour on top. If we lose it, we lose it. It's not the end of the world. I kind of want to get a duel just with this Delta. Let's see what they do here. Like, losing Thought Scour is like, alright, whatever. Serum Visions, sure. They go top. Wow. So, I don't think that Thought Scouring them is off the table. I'm going to just draw and Thought Scour them. If it's Arclight, we have Extraction anyway, so alright. They want to top against us? They want to top against us? Things go crazy. Hit you. This will also reveal a lot of information about their hand, probably. Their top card is Serum Visions. Alright. So nothing really crazy. It's just fine. I'm pretty fine Thought Scouring myself here. We hit a looting, it's pretty good, so draw a looting, not like hit it. Alright, there it is. Bombs away. Discard Arclight Phoenix, Scalding Tarn. And now we can play Surgical Extraction to flip our Thing in the Ice if we want to. I suppose if they have a Surgical, then we're going to use our Surgical and flip the Thing in the Ice. So let's see what they do. Nope, it's back. Alright, this is fine. I'm pretty fine just chilling. There's nothing I want a Surgical yet, honestly. Sure. We could Surgical right now, save it back to our hand, but that's fine. That seems so bad. Like, the bolts just seem bad. If only we had... Oh, well, that works too. Opponent. I mean, once you flip Thing in the Ice, it is very, very hard to remove. So, like, I guess they agree. So, 2-1. 2 and 1sies. All right. Winning die rolls, taking names. I think we keep. It's pretty mopey. But again, one of the nice things about our deck is it's just so redundant. Like, a full third, almost a full third of our deck is just cantrips. And any cantrip makes his hand pretty good. The gut shot obviously may or may not be good. It's been bad every matchup so far. But it could be really good. We have turn 2 Thing in the Ice. Any looting effect is good for our Phoenix. Manamorphose, one of the best cards in the deck. I'm going to keep. It's not exciting. But if our gut shot's good, this hand is quite good. If we knew we were playing against like that black-white Fatal Push Path to Exile deck, I might ship this. But so is our things are less reliable. Man, Blooming Marsh? Why? It just fair deck mania over here. Where are all the unfair decks? The Ad Nauseums and the Trons and the Dredges and the stuff. I didn't cast this Thing in the Ice. Yeah, I think I do. It's almost assuredly getting Fatal Pushed, but I don't know. All right. What deck plays turn 1 Blooming Marsh with no play? No discard spell, no Fatal Push. Oh. That feels good. Okay. So we have, oh my god. Can we just draw a Faithless Looting? Can we do it? Please? Do I Manamorphose or just go for it? I think I do. Just make a red and a blue. Just hit me. Here we go. Whoa. That is a snow-covered island. Huh. That is a snow-covered mountain. All right, pretty bad draws here. Pretty bad draws. I guess we are hard casting Gutshot and saying go. Honestly, though, hard casting our Phoenixes isn't even that bad. And like our opponent's hand seems a little slow and clunky, and that was a pretty big brick there. I'm not gonna lie. Definite brick city, but they have Liliana here. It's pretty gross. I guess we just cast Arclight and kill it. It's not even that bad. After the Fatal Push, sure. Sure. Alright, just don't draw a land next turn. That's what I ask. Hey, is there a sorcery in the graveyard? No. There isn't. Darn. So, creature, land, instant. Makes this a 3-4. If I cast this, it becomes a 4-5 and doesn't work. So, kind of a tilt. Not going to lie. But, we'll just do things the old-fashioned way here. You know, we're not ashamed of that. Maybe they'll play Kalidas and think they're going to get us. And we'll flame slash them in the next year. The best card ever printed. How can we ever win? Thought Scour. Right, we're just casting Arclight and killing. We're on a plan now, and the plan's pretty simple. It's plan B for sure, but you know, just kill the best card ever printed, and then cast Arclight Phoenix, and then let her rip. Volshock Berserkers go. Then obviously if they kill this, we'll hopefully just chain some spells together and get them right back. So that is not good. That is one of the worst case scenarios. Although if there's no removal spell, you probably can still get them. There are 3 creatures in the graveyards. Manamorphose. I think we're firing off here. I mean, we just need to hope they can't kill these. We find a bolt and just kill them in 2 turns because this thing's gonna take over the game. Obviously, I'm just gonna fire away here. It's funny. I actually want to just naturally draw more Arclight Phoenixes. All right. Lightning Axe, Surgical Extraction. I like it. I don't want that surgical. I do want this lightning axe. Despite how inefficient it is, it's all I really have ever needed. So, bottom, top. And now I need to cast... I don't want to cast the... Alright, so if I cast the looting, I draw into the axe. And they'll be able to exile the looting with the ooze on the way out, but they don't get any life. If I use the Thought Scour, and I mill them and draw the axe, then I discard looting anyway, it doesn't matter. So, okay, sure. But looting is minus, that doesn't work, because then I'll end up with keeping 1 card, and it doesn't work. All right, I have the Thought Scour. So I'll Thought Scour them. Hit Maelstrom Pulse, LOL, Farced. All right, and then we're going to hit that. That's pretty funny. Would have been pretty good. They don't use it, so they are valuing the draw off the clue. Nope, they have a push. They have Assassin's Trophy. Alright. Race is on, I suppose. That looting is still in the graveyard, though, which is pretty great, so... Next turn, we can get right back in the saddle. Run a 3-turn clock. Oh, come on. Scalding Tarn. Alright, well, here comes looting. Looting opt. Alright, this is not good for us. Now we're just dead. We need to find a lightning bolt, like, right now. That's Crackling Drake. That's Faithless Looting. It doesn't matter anymore. I guess our out here is to hit our other 2 Phoenixes off of our looting and attack them for 9. That is our out at the moment. I don't think we have any other outs. Alright. Damn scavenging uses. So rude. Oh, that was not Phoenix. So we're dead. Kind of stinky. We bricked a little bit. Our opening hand was obviously pretty awkward, but Scavenging Goose is good against us for sure. Definitely. This deck is not the green-black rock deck is not terribly popular. I really can't believe we played against 4 fair decks in a row. Just like boggles the mind. All right, so what are we gonna want here? I guess Abrade. We should need more removal spells. I guess Bacon Bolt's fine. Also, this is a spot where Rending Volley looks worse than Flame Slash. Rending Volley is more targeted towards the top decks in the format. Human Spirits, the Mirror, etc. And it's not effective against a card like Scavenging Ooze. Blood Moon's probably not. Maybe we could cheese them out on the play with Blood Moon, but they have Assassin's Trophy and stuff, and they'll probably play around it. I don't think we need that. Surgicals are bad. Gut Shot kills Dark Confidant, and that's really it. That's bad. I want these Abrade and the Bacon Bolts, I think. Am I interested in Spell Pierce? I don't think so. Try to make sure I can kill Scavenging Ooze and make sure I can kill Dark Confidant. That's basically what my goals are here. This matchup should be fine for us, I think. I mean, they could have some sick graveyard hate too, but Spell Pierce isn't bad against their discard spells. Spell Pierce could be okay. Like, maybe Spell Pierce is better than, like, Izzet Charm. Izzet Charm kills Dark Confidant. I mean, Scavenging Ooze is going to be hard to kill with an Izzet Charm, but... yeah, I don't think I want Spell Pierce. Again, against like Shadow, they're so fast. You feel like you need to interact in the first few turns. We're gonna play probably a longer game here. Spell Pierce is gonna go dead pretty quick. It's only really effective like on the play on turn 1 against a discard spell. So. Probably Thought Scour. Opt does a better job finding a land, but I can always just opt on my turn if I have to. I already have the information for my Thought Scour. Mountain Thing in the Ice. All right. Tilt. Maybe Opting's better. I don't know. Maybe that was a little greedy. Just looking for a little extra velocity off the Thought Scour. Collective Brutality, Duress. Have at it, my friends. This is about the most redundant hand I've ever seen in my entire life, so you have fun with that. This is the kind of exchange I want to be happening. Right now we have... Ooh, that's weird. Right now we have spells and no lands, so I want to just trade 1 for 1 while we wait to draw some lands. We're in no big rush here. Oh, that's a tough one. It's obviously amazing with our Phoenix. We don't have a way to discard Phoenix at the moment, but they probably have some sort of graveyard hate anyway. If I bottom this and don't draw a land, I feel like an idiot. I'm just going to top it. It also helps me find lands next turn, too, so keeping a non-land off the op there feels pretty weird, but again, I don't think we're in a terrible rush here. Not exactly super fast. Them taking Axe might mean they have Tarmogoyf. Sure. But we have this Bacon Bolt here, too. Hey, land. So now, I don't think I want to cast Looting anymore. I think I want to wait. Try and do it all in one turn. I'm just going to play land as I go, I think. Actually, I'm going to Thought Scour. I'll play land Thought Scour, see if I draw Serum Visions. Flame Slash Thing in the Ice opt. Bacon Bolt is currently more than sufficient. We'll probably be casting Opt on our end step to look for the third land for Bacon Bolt. Rid ourselves of this Tarmogoyf. That's a magic card, I guess. Alright. Land? Land. Guess we're killing the Kalitas first. That one seems kind of important. Ideally, they don't have a Scavenging Ooze here. That would be bad for us. Beacon Bolt's kind of sweet. It's a nice little one-of. It's a good one-of. It's not very efficient. You definitely don't want to ever draw more than one of them, but the first one's pretty good. You know, it's surrounded by all of your other 1-mana spells. Having a very powerful 3-mana spell is pretty reasonable. And it does things that the blue-red cards struggle to do, which is kill large creatures. So we might be flashing back Bacon Bolt next turn. Discard Phoenix, kill Tarmogoyf. We'll see what they do, obviously, but... Snow-covered island. You may be asking yourself, why are you playing a snow-covered island, Jim? And to that I answer, you figure it out. Kalitas. Now there's a name I haven't heard in a long, long time. God damn it. Alright. Well, we're obviously killing the Scavenging Ooze. I guess we're going to start looking for Phoenixes and try and get 2 Phoenixes to play this turn. Just try and race them, I guess. Oh, this Reckless Graveyard hate. I'm going to fetch first. Actually, what am I discarding as loot? I don't know if I'm discarding looting yet. Let's Thought Scour. Nothing. Stone, nothing. Alright. I guess we're just casting looting. Hit me. No. Hit me this time? No. I suppose Manamorphose is the worst one here. I haven't used a bolt and not an Abrade, and that kind of sucks. Maybe that was a little greedy. Maybe I should just abraded the Scavenging Ooze. But Drake seems fine. Oh, we're halfway through the deck. Only found one Phoenix. Kind of stinks, but alright, we're coming in. The matchup seems tough for us. Again, they're just playing threats that don't die to Lightning Bolt in Tarmogoyf. And they have a lot of graveyardy removal stuff, and a lot of interaction, and fatal pushes for a thing in the ice, and yeah. It's not good for us. It's definitely not good. Didn't draw. I mean, play Drake here, they have a kill spell, we just die. Unfortunately, I don't have, other options are just like flashback looting, hope to spike 2 spells. That option also feels bad. Like, we drew a cantrip here, we could have like even just cantrip Abrade bolt the Goyf, you know? Casting looting is just way too ridiculous. I mean, just play with Drake and pray at this point, honestly. I don't think we have a better option. If we double spell to kill Tarmogoyf, there was a treetop just gets us. Just play Drake, try and trade with this, and just hope that our next turn goes better. We're probably going to die this turn, but this is probably the play that gives us the best chance to win. Spirebluff Canal. Yeah, I think it might want 5 mana next turn. Alright, don't kill me, I guess. I suppose they might be able to kill this and not kill me directly. I might go to 1. If they can't kill us, they might just die. So there's always that. That's kind of cool. You know, if they have a Fatal Push, but no way to... Actually, they have this thing to Revolt, so... Yeah, they have Revolt. They have basically everything. I mean, basically anything kills me here, and they didn't play a land last turn, so... They presumably have all spells in hand. I don't know what the spells could be, but don't kill us or be bad for us. Like, Push, Pulse, Liliana, Assassin's Trophy. You know, Scavenging Ooze isn't good for us. I'd say most cards here are not good for us. If their hand's like Tracker, 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 I think we're okay. Is that too outlandish? Alright, how about Tracker, 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 Goyf? How about Tracker, Tracker, Vraska, Queen of the Golgari, Smother. How about Abrupt Decay? Abrupt Decay. Vraska, Relic Seeker, Spiritmonger. Alright, I know, Spiritmonger's not modern legal, I get it. Okay, so this feels like a push. They're gonna fill the row me and then push me. Yep. Alright. Well. My mountain's even gone. I can't even get a mountain for Bolt. Alright, well, here we go. Yeah, it's a fatal push. Not sure what took so long. Alright, bombs away. Looting me. Serum Visions, Scalding Tarn. We bolt we die to that. We bolt Goyf. I don't think we can win. We discard Abrade and Scalding Tarn, because those cards are both dead. And then we Serum Visions into an Sulfur Falls is gone. Mountain is gone. I guess I don't even know what it could be, honestly. I think we are. Yeah, because the problem is the trample on the village. We could double bolt the Goyf, bring back Phoenix, but then the trample on this just kills us. If we were 2, we could survive. We'll just cast Serum Visions and hope and pray here, I guess. I don't know what we're looking for. Maybe like looting it double Phoenix. That's the thing in the ice. Yeah, we're dead. Kind of tough. Matchup does not seem super easy for us. Very, very weird matchups in this league. Like, I mean, Fatal Push 5 toughness stuff is definitely good against us for sure. They had Scavenging Ooze, Kalitas, etc. Shadow has Shadow, Stubborn Denial, etc. Shadow is obviously played somewhat. I mean, I haven't seen like the green-black Tireless Tracker deck in a long time. It's a super fringe deck. So, like, you can't really worry too much about that one. We also played against, like, the black-white Fatal Push deck. We beat them, but weird cross-section of decks here. That's a tough one. All right, match 5. How about no Fatal Pushes and no 5 toughness creatures? Can we do that? Q. Bottom mulligans. We're going to keep a nice classy one-lander here. Seek Realm Coast. Mausoleum Wanderer. Okay. 5 fair decks in a row. What is Modern coming to? They got to unban Rite of Flame or something. Alright. I'm going to cast Serum Visions here, and if they counter it, they're obviously ghosting. So Spirebluff, Scalding Tarn. I think I'm fine with both of those. I can always Thought Scour away the Tarn if I really don't want it, but alright. We're just saying go. I should have bottomed the Tarn. The logic of I can just Thought Scour it away is stupid because I actually have other cards I want to Thought Scour into. That was a mistake. I should have just bottomed it. Should I continue with my plan of being aggressive at the bottom lands? I could. No, that's a waste of Manamorphose. Wanderers are kind of annoying. I think we're just gonna ship here. Like, they mulliganed on the play, so they're like light on actual spells. Just fetching Farst. Interesting. They're concerned with Blood Moon, I guess? Or they think they're playing like Blue Moon or something. Supreme Phantom. So, like, we can double bolt the Phantom here. It might just kill both Wanderers, which is fine. Yeah, I'm cool with that. And we can just like Lightning Axe it. Although I have the Wanderers in play, the Phantom isn't even that good, so. Like, they have 2 cards left, you know? So they have 2 cards and a 1/3, which is fine. Yeah, we'll draw this land. I think this is actually fine now. We'll just say go. I'm gonna leave up Izzet Charm for company. I'm not really in a huge rush at the moment. They think we're playing Blue Moon or something. Which means that they're probably going to be playing our counter spells, which is a little awkward, but... Okay. Alright, we'll Thought Scour instead. We're not taking down our Izzet Charm shield, so... And we hit Surgical Thought Scour, we drew the Arclight Phoenix. That's fine. We have his Lightning Axe, obviously, so... Looting. The problem is we think they have company. We definitely want to counter the company if we can. So, like, we can't really go nuts on spells here. I kind of want to just keep this company under control. So I think we're just going to say go here. Alright. Maybe I should have upkeeped this, but I'm going to Lightning Axe this and see what they do. They have a natural Spell Queller. It's very awkward, but we'll at least get Phoenix back next turn. And if they company, it's obviously the best case scenario. So, but they have like the 2/1 that gives things hexproof. All right, we got him. Got him. Maybe I could have done that on my turn. Like I couldn't have got back the thing anyway. So, all right, we'll get the island. Izzet Charm is trying to show its great quality. Oh yeah, it's a turn. That's a turn. And now we do the things. We're gonna make a red and a blue, and we're gonna hope. Oh, it's awkward. Opt for Phoenix? No. Opt for Phoenix? No. Thing in the ice. Oh, it's so awkward! Why do we draw Thing in the ice after we cast all of our spells? We've already cast 3 now, so I guess now we can just, right, we can go Manamorphose Opt. Yeah, we just can't play Thing in the ice now. Alright. I would say we're in pretty good shape. Even if they are able to go, like... I guess if they went, like, land, path, thing, cast, company, that'd be bad for us, but that's a lot to ask, you know? Obviously, thing answers this pretty well, usually, so... Can probably flip thing this turn. And we can hopefully set it up where we can discard the Phoenix to our looting again, which would be dope. 1 mana spell. Even better. Even better. Alright. Blue, red. It's cute. Yeah, that plays. We can use that. We'll hit the company here. Which is the best card? Phantom's already Phantom in play, so whatever. Oh, wait, hold on. Maybe, hear me out. What if we are less interested in getting a Phoenix in play and more interested in... We have 2 lootings. Because we can bounce the Phantom and then Surgical it, which is kind of gas. Alright, let's get the looting. Oh, yeah. So now... Oh, now I guess we can't. We need to save the looting. So we'll discard Visions and Arclight. This is all pretty cool. Right? Yeah, now we bounce this. We discard the card we draw on that. Yeah, so do this. I think they're actually just dead, but thinking about the cool, fun things I can do is still really cool, you know? Like, they're actually just dead. But I could have surgicaled it, and it could have been really cool. Probably should have just see their hand, but I'm sure their hand is just a bunch of banned spirit cards. Doesn't really matter. So that was cool. We enjoyed that one. As far as sideboarding, I love Dispel against company decks. Decks that have company and path in them. Oh yeah, Dispel's where it's at. Rending Volley, Gut Shot. We found a Gut Shot matchup. That's good. And I want these Abrades, and I want this Bacon Bolt. I don't want Dragon's Claws for sure. All right. Some number of this. Definitely want to lose the Surgical Extractions. Definitely want to lose the Izzet Charm. I think that's really it. I may be interested in cutting one Arclight Phoenix, but I don't. Even if they have like Rest in Beast, they're not going to bring it in. It's not good against me. So we're way over quota here. Abrade is probably just not necessary. Yeah, Bacon Bolt's super unwieldy against the instant speed with everything deck. I think we have enough removal. I think this is fine. I could really buy playing another Abrade or two. Just have a few more removal spells because just killing all of our stuff is really important. But I think this is fun. I mean, this sand is super awkward, but it does play. Like, we have Gut Shot for their 1-drop and a Looting to clean our hand up. I'm going to keep. I'm not thrilled about it, but obviously if this is a blue-red land, I'd be a lot happier. But turn 1 Gut Shot's pretty good. Because I'm a wanderer. I'm a wanderer. So now we have a pretty interesting choice. I guess we could just hold. Yeah, that's fine. So let's cast Serum Visions. I would love to set up for turn 2, get back Phoenix with this Gut Shot. Turn 2, like looting, or like looting, Gut Shot. So let's try and cast Serum Visions, set that up. And then if they cast the Lord next turn, we can just Gut Shot this in response. There's Phoenix. There's Thing in the Ice. Both those cards are really good. I think we're online. Goliath online. A second Wanderer. I think we Gut Shot the first Wanderer response. Don't take 2. And then on our turn, we're casting. Yeah, actually, yeah, this is fun. I want to Gut Shot on my turn. They have a third Wanderer. That would make things awkward. Farced? A Noble Hierarch? Sure. Man, I had more Gut Shots. Alright, so let's open up the Ceremonies with a. Let's see if I can get the counter of the looting, I guess. Well, it's not gonna work, it's not gonna counter it, so yeah, let's just use Thought Scour too. Because Manamorphose, they definitely counter it, so it's right, probably. Just start here. Gut Shot. Probably just gonna looting, discard looting, cast Thought Scour. Yeah, counter it. Got it. No, I'm not gonna pay for that. Thank you. Looting. Imagine if we drew another Gut Shot. That'd be so cool. And they're playing around Blood Moon hard. It's important to pay attention to your opponents like this. If you have opponents that are just like not playing around Blood Moon at all, you can definitely like try and get them with it occasionally when it might not be prudent because they're just not even paying attention to it. But like this opponent is like, I will not lose the Blood Moon. All right, Phoenix is gone. I think Drake is gone too. I think Thing in the Ice is much more important. And then, although I don't mind discarding this looting because looting is kind of worthless at this point. But we're never casting as Drake. Yeah, it's fine. Cheap spells are better for Thing in the Ice, so discard these two. And then we're going to Thought Scour ourselves. God, just missed. And move to combat. The question is, do we attack? We are at 15. They are at 18. Phoenix can play some really good defense. And this is likely to attack for 3 or 4 next turn. I guess 1 Lord makes it 4. Yeah, just attack. They go like Land Company are probably in trouble. It's definitely what's going to happen. Nope. That card's really good. Well, Thalia A. I have 1 card left. I mean, Thing in the Ice is obviously pretty good. I think we just play Thing in the Ice and say go. I don't mind taking a more defensive stance at this point because we have the cards in our hand. They have 1 card left. Playing 3 spells in a turn would be pretty hard with Thalia in play, but like we have bolts and stuff. We have Thing in the Ice. We'll just keep playing Thing in the Ice. Work on that plan. Oh, nope. Okay, no shock company. That's good for us. I mean, this is the easiest block in the world, right? I guess I could have Spell Queller. No, I guess not. This is the not a block. Sure, it's fine. I think I like second thing. Like, we could Manamorphose into Opt. Try and draw some lands and stuff. Or, like, Manamorphose into, like, looting. But we're not really taking much damage here. If they had Spell Color, they might have attacked. Suppose we can do Manamorphose and Opt on their turn, which is kind of cool. So they have Spell Queller, it makes things super awkward for them. They playing Thing in the Ice number 2 is just too like aggressive. So we don't need 2 Thing in the Ice really. Although it is good, they should replay their entire hand in 1 shot. But if they have a Path to Exile, it's also a disaster. This is tough. This is us deciding if we want to play around Spell Queller or not. If they had Queller, they could attack with the Wanderer. That's kind of like weird. I'm gonna guess Thing in the Ice. Okay. Yikes, that's pretty good. Alright. Now we're probably in trouble. Now everything's at a bolt range. We block here, go to 7, and we just die next turn. Ugh, that's really bad. Oh. That was like worst case scenario. We just can't play 3 spells next turn. We draw. No, we can't even play 3 spells if we draw a bolt. I guess we can. Alright, whatever. This is going to be really hard to win. Maybe playing the second Thing in the Ice is bad. probably have to like looting into exactly gut shot. It still costs 1 mana though. It'd be looting into gut shot into opt. Looting, gut shot, opt. Do Manamorphose, 2 mana, then looting. And still gut shot, same thing. Yeah. I might have thrown this game away. I might have just been too greedy. I was trying to play around Path or like a Reflector Mage, some removal spell on this, but they just drew a Lord instead. They have more lords than removal, probably. This is bad. Is good. It's Rending Volleys. That's actually not bad. Pteramander. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 5. Pteramander buys a turn. Honestly, that might do it. Discard Pteramander Phoenix. I mean, discard land Phoenix. Just ship the Pteramander. And then just try and play 3 spells next turn, which seems difficult, but possible. Sucks I couldn't make this bigger. Oh, God. Alright, well, they ran Lord. It's pretty good. Alright, now we are probably dead. I don't know if we can play... I guess we just draw a Bolt. Yeah, I mean, we just draw a Bolt. We draw any card next day, so let's Wander to counter it. Yeah, I think we're super dead here. That's, like, unnecessary problem, but sure. I'll block it with everything. Rending Volley. It's got to be Rending Volley, exactly, I think. Lightning Bolts. Alright, well, maybe they just won't wander it. Nope, they did. If I Manamorphosed, then bolted and drew a land, maybe that was better? There's not many outs here. Alright. I think we played this game badly. Just didn't need... I'm not sure, honestly. Definitely a judgment call. Play around like removal spell or play around like Lord. And we chose wrong, I suppose. Kind of want these Abrades. I forgot about Thalia. Just want them more removal spells. Let's just cut maybe the Drakes are just bad. I mean, the thing is they can't really counter them. I guess they can count Spellcaller. Yeah, let's cut the Drakes. I think Thing in the Ice and Arclights are enough. Let's make sure we can kill stuff. This hand's good. I like this hand. So there isn't to really hold on to my spells for Thing in the Ice. Our deck is just all spells, you know? Like, now into the second Thing in the Ice, I want this one. I want both of these. With Thing in the Ice on 2, and then Thing in the Ice plus removal spell on 3, I'm feeling really happy about this game. Wow, no turn 1 play. That's gas. Oh my god. Why is it gotta end like this? Obviously, when you have Sulfur Falls, you just assume if you have a blue-red land in play, it comes in untapped. That's obviously a Spirebluff Canal. So, hopefully I didn't just punt the game. That would be very, very frustrating if I did. Clearly, I wanted to play these Steam Vents untapped and cast the Thing in the Ice. All right. Make a mistake. Just gotta reevaluate the game state from where it's at and move on with your life. So that is a terrible, terrible turn for us. But and they have a Thalia. Okay. They're probably short on land because I play Canopy. I'm just gonna play Thing in the Ice. Play tap lands. They go. Set up for next turn. Thalia is not really doing a ton. We have tons of ways to kill it at our leisure. Like killing there's no point in killing Thalia here. Just advance our board. You know, if we draw a land next turn, we get to go Thing plus kill Thalia, which is great. Much cast Thing anyway, honestly. Okay. That is a spirit, I suppose. That we probably need to kill. Because if they play a Lord, it's going to be very difficult to kill this. And maybe it doesn't matter, honestly. Like, if we just play, like, we play Thing in the Ice, they go. And then we just say go next turn. 2 mana to bolt through Thalia. 1 mana to cast an opt. Our things are flipped the next turn, you know? I guess not. It would be 2 turns, but like, is this even that bad? Like, it seems pretty hard for them to actually remove a Thing in the Ice. Let me just cast Thing in the Ice here. If they play a Lord and protect this, we just have 2 Thing in the Ice in play, and they're not going to kill us before we can flip them naturally. I'm doing it. They can't company next turn. They're also at 16. So if they're ever at 14, we can just attack and kill them. They need to respect that. So like, these things are pretty for real. Sure. So now you get to make the play that I said we're going to make. We'll bolt the Thalia on our turn. I mean, I am blocking. Sorry, not today. I respect it, but not today. Yeah, so we just bolt this, and then we'll evaluate if we're going to bolt or opt on their turn. That's our 1 spell for the turn. Freeze up our other spells. All right. Definitely no interest in trying to bolt this. We're just going to cast an opt. They got a path here. It's also more than fine. Unless they have 2 paths. I'm fine with it. Arclight Phoenix. I don't want that. Just say go. I only get 1 spell, so. They also only get 1 spell. They play company. We are going to lightning bolt they'll draw out their Drog Skull Captain. Put these bad boys down to 2. Now on their turn we got a little flippy action. I've been arguing for bolting them, but I don't think so. Supreme Phantom, sure. And now we have double flip at will. Alright, here's our one spell. Whoosh. Whoosh. If this is Arena, I bet you Thing in the Ice would have a sick animation. Like the bomb animation. Alright, this is a company in response, so sure. I mean, at this point, they're in the abyss. Oh my god, they hit Deputy Detention. That is so sick. But we're fine. We have Lightning Bolt. So because the way this is worded, we can kill this in response, and it'll never actually go off. Serum Visions. Sure. Sounds great to me. Sounds wonderful. Hey you, you're dead. They have a path. Do I go looking for... Doesn't matter, I bolt. Alright, sure. That's fine. Upstairs. Alright. So despite our egregious misclick on turn 2, more of a brain fart than a misclick, I suppose. I clicked the card I wanted to hit. I just didn't process what was happening in the game. Aside from our egregious error on turn 2 there, went 3-2. Very weird league. 5 fair decks. And 3 kind of bad matchups. Shadow just seems bad. And the green-black deck also seems kind of bad. This is the kind of deck where if... This is like a Lightning Bolt deck, right? So if your opponent's deck has removal that's better than Lightning Bolts, as far as like killing bigger creatures, and it has creatures that don't die to Lightning Bolts, things aren't as good as they could be. As we saw from the Shadow deck, we couldn't interact super well with their creatures, and then their Fatal Pushes were just really good. Fatal Push, dismember, made our Thing in the Ices embarrassing, and then we were down to basically Arclight at that point, and if we couldn't put it together and defend ourselves to put it together, which part of our deck is, you know, we can attack for 6 on turn 2. This is more of like almost like a Delvery deck, where like we are playing removal spells, we are playing interaction. We're not going to kill you on turn 4 every game. You know, we can play a longer game too, but we can't do that if our removal spells are ineffective. So against decks that are having efficient kill spells that kill Thing in the Ice, as well as presenting fast early threats that are hard to Lightning Bolt, that's a tough combination for us. But thankfully, Shadow is mildly popular. The difficulty of play with that deck is so absurdly high that I think that most people don't try playing it. And unless you're playing against someone really, really good, I wouldn't even worry too much about it because the deck is so hard to play. You know, your Dylan Donagans and so on and so forth. And then the green-black deck's whatever. I haven't seen that deck in a tournament in years. So, not years, but a while. So, deck's still great. Deck is really good against Dredge with Thing in the Ice. Not really good against Dredge. It's good against Dredge. Good against other creature decks. Good against humans with Thing in the Ice. Good against the control decks, as you have recursive threats. Deck is super sweet. This is just like this deck isn't really busted against anything, but it's very solid, very powerful, has game against everything. And the most important thing I think is that even if you don't want to play this deck, you must know how to beat this deck to win a modern tournament, because you will play against this deck at least once. You know, this is probably one of the most popular decks in the format, and being able to watch this video and see it played from the perspective of the Arclight deck is very valuable. I think one of the best things you can do if you want to get better at Magic is don't just play your deck. You know, if you can, if you have the means to, try playing the other big decks in the format, just so you have an idea of what they feel like when they're played. If you don't have the ability to do that, you know, with card availability or whatever, you can watch streams, watch videos. It's it's hard to know what's going on in your opponent's hand in a game of Magic, and sometimes it feels like they always have it, sometimes it feels like they never have it, but by playing the deck or watching the deck played from the deck's perspective, you can be like, man, they just can't find a shadow, or man, this Tron deck mulligans really well, or et cetera, because you get to see it from their side of their point of view. So definitely a thing to do if you want to get better at Magic, is just expand your knowledge on different decks. Even if you're like, I am a Dredge player, I have my Dredge deck, it's fully foiled out, you'll pry it from my cold dead hands. Regardless, if you have the ability to borrow your friend's Arclight deck, you're hanging out with your friends, you're play testing, borrow their Arclight deck, borrow their burn deck, whatever it is, play a few games, get a feel for it, see what it feels like, and you get an idea for what the inflection points are and what the important turns are. And if they haven't done this by this turn, is that normal? Is that not normal? And so on and so forth. So 3-2, it's fine. Deck's great. This is your average modern result, the old 3-2. But thanks for watching so much. Of course, if you are watching this on YouTube and you haven't been to CoolStuffInc.com yet, check out the compendium article to this video, which is on CoolStuffInc.com. I have videos every Monday, as well as the companion article, as well as written articles every Friday. If you missed my article on Friday a few days ago, I wrote all about Nexus of Fate being banned on Best of One Arena. Not going to want to miss that one. Check that one out. And of course, you can use my promo code JIM5 for 5% off your next order on CoolStuffInc.com as well. Board games, card games, miniatures, and of course, Magic and all related supplies are on there. And 5% off is no joke. You buy a box or two, it's like $10, So check it out, and I'll see you fine folks next time. Thank you for watching. I am Jim Davis for CoolStuffInc.com, and I'll see you fine folks next week or on Friday for my article. Have a good one.